currently I'm working at Git with a group of data. So we talk about Git.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. I'm going to talk about Iceberg. So, the first thing maybe you are asking about is, what is Iceberg? As we already said, Iceberg is about Git, and also it's about Pharo, and we are trying to get them talk together. But, well, I started with Git, but it will not be only about Git. We would like to add other repositories soon. But when I start talking about this, maybe you are asking yourself two questions. The first one is, why do we need Git when we have Monticello? I don't know. I think there is a lot of people that already have answered that question. And the other one is, why do we need another Git tool? Because there are already Git tools for Pharo and for other Smalltalks. So I will try to answer those questions today. But first, what is Iceberg? Iceberg is a set of tools. I don't think that the tools will be amazing for you. There are the tools and one expects to be using when you use a repository. Distributed repositories like Git, you have to manage your repositories, you have to be able to commit, push, pull, and you need tools for manage your branches and merge them. So I will show you some tools. I will do a little demo afterwards, but the tools are not the main topic today. So also, Iceberg is about an architecture, because I don't want to build lots of tools, but I also want to build a set of models that will allow anyone to build tools on top of it. Right now we have a nice commit model and versioning model. We can traverse versions, see which files can have changed in each version, which files not, which classes and which methods we have those problems. And we can manage branches, but we also have been looking about having our own code model, our own changes model. And these are designed for building lots of tools on top of them. But also, architecture is not what I am talking today. Because it will be too technical and maybe boring. But if you're interested in seeing what this model looks like, I will be here the whole week, and it would be nice to discuss about that. So, this talk is about a vision. A vision which tries to answer the second question about why what do we need to, well, I put that there. What do we need to really move forward? What do we need to forget about Monticello? Yesterday I was talking with Dale. Dale, you're here? That's Dale. I was expecting you. So, and he said that a few years ago, in a talk like this one, he was afraid that no one was really convinced about why migrating from Monticello, and he started talking about integration between different Smalltalks, which is one of the reasons that we could argue to see why do we need Git? Because it would be easier to interact between different Smalltalks. But I think that now in these years we have progressed a lot, and there are lots of tools, but still Monticello is our primary tool. The Pharo-core is kept at Monticello. Even when there is a Git mirror of it, we cannot move to Git. So what is really needed to get that step? So I have a few insights about it. I also would like to, first I would like to share it with you, and also I would like to discuss them, maybe not in this talk, we will not have the time, but during the whole week. So, The first one is how we relate to Monticello itself. So we must be backward compatible. That is not affordable. We cannot forget about it. But we have to be a little smarter how we are backward compatible. Because I think that many Git tools try to put a square into a triangle. You know, that's my 11th kid. He's trying to put a star into a flower. Oh, it doesn't work. I hope that he will notice that in the next month. So we should do better than him.
Is he wearing a GitHub shirt?
Sorry?
Is your son wearing a GitHub shirt?
No, I don't think so. I don't know what he's wearing. Okay, so if we try to put Git into the tools that we already have, that won't work, or we would not be able to take advantage of all the possibilities it has for us. So maybe I have to do a little clarification. I think Monticello has been a great tool. It was distributed when most people didn't use distributed repositories. But in these years, the repositories have advanced a lot. And even when Git is a complex thing, and we have to build on top of it, it will give us a lot of stuff. It will give us the possibility to handle multiple integrated packages and versions, save other resources, not code. Today it's very difficult to save images in our Monticello repositories, or I don't know, the kind of projects that we make have changed. We make web projects that maybe have JavaScript, or we make Android projects which have a lot of stuff of bullshit from Android and SQL and whatever. So we need to take all the advantages from our new repositories. So how to migrate to Git? Because, as I said, it's a kind of complex stuff. I don't know if all of you understand that graphic up on top of it. I will not explain that. Because there are lots of objects. It's a very powerful thing, but it's kind of complex. So I have 3 ideas. So how can we handle that complexity? Because it's really powerful, but their metaphor is very low level. It talks about commits and trees and blobs, and many people that use Git do not really understand what is a tree, or what is a tree-ish, or what is the difference between a commit and a commit-ish, and what is the index, and what is lots of weird stuff, which indeed maybe are necessary and indeed are very powerful, but we have to get better abstractions on top of them. Because what I think is that the Git command line does not do a good job abstracting us from all these complexities. When I want to do a Git pull, I just want to update my code, and it tries to make me forget that when I do a pull, it first will do a fetch, and then we'll do a merge, and then we'll check out the branch that he already moved. There are 3 steps, and the pull can fail in each of these three steps, and if I don't understand that, the Git command line won't help me. So we have to have better abstractions. I've been working in those abstractions. It would be nice to share that with you and to discuss, and maybe you can help me to model those abstractions. So the first one is kind of obvious. The second one will be more arguable. But I think that we have to start forgetting about command line. Many people that came to me asking about Iceberg asked me, well, will will it be possible for me to still be using the command line when Iceberg isn't enough? Because we are used to that the old Git tools at some point are not enough, and I have to go back to the command line and start throwing fatality commands like git reset hard and head with the hat and with the whatever weird commands, and when some of them doesn't work, there comes another guy who has another idea with the tons of possibilities. So we have to avoid that. We need to build tools that do not think about the command line. It will always be there. You can access a repository through a command line, but you need to forget about it. And the third step, which already I have discussed with Dale, and maybe I didn't convince him yet, but I will, is that we have to use bare repositories. Do you know what a bare repository is? When you clone a Git repository, you get mostly two things. One is kind of hidden. It's a .git directory, which is in fact the real repository. Your local repository is in that .git directory. And the rest of the files you see, when you work normally, is in fact only the working copy of your repository. Well, the problem is that when we use Pharo, we already have a working copy of our code, which is not in the files, it's in our image. So if you use the normal way to use Git, with the way that every other technology uses, every other file-based technology uses, it will use that working copy, because when you edit the Java file, you edit the file in the working copy, in the Git working copy. But when you edit a Pharo method, you don't edit a file, you edit a method in the image. So if you have a normal repository, you have to first edit the method, then you have to file out the method to the Git working copy, and there you already have the possibility of a conflict if someone has modified the working copy outside the image, and you could need a merge, and Git won't help you doing that merge because they don't care about it. They don't think about images. So I think that the best way to build tools on top of Git is to avoid that working copy and work directly to the bare repository, to what you normally see in the .git, where are the trees and the blobs. You will be able to check out that repository, make a change with another tool if you want, or to commit there other files that are not Pharo based. But when Pharo commits there, it will be better to avoid the working copy. Yes?
So are you saying that each time I combine the methods, then I write?
No. Only when you commit.
Yeah, but when not, I'm going to, each time I combine a method, then I just write on the hard disk what I just combined. That would be an easy way.
And then when you change it from the hard disk and you listen to them and update the method.
Earlier versions of predecessors of Ice tried that idea. We could discuss that. I would like not to get the rest of my time in that, but we will talk about it. Either way, currently Iceberg accepts two backends. One is based on libgit 2. That backend goes directly into the blob without a working copy, without going through the disk. Or, well, it's the same on the disk. And the other uses Git file free, which does use the working copy. But you have to be careful. So
just a commit is just like a publish, right? Just like publishing in Monticello. Is that a commit?
No. In Git you have two steps to publish your stuff. First you will commit to a local repository, and then you will publish or push to a remote repository. The local repository, it's in your machine and only you say that. This could be part of what we need to discuss. do we love the Git way of working? So first commit locally and then push. And do we need to keep those metaphors? Do we need to keep those steps? And do we need to keep those names? Because push doesn't, I do not like push or pull. But well, that could be a long discussion.
But Nicolas,
Yep.
with the right abstraction, you can lay down the processes. If you give all the bricks, then in the future you can say, for the needs like me, I just want one big button.
It comes down to the workflows, right?
Yeah. This is already the workflow, and what I think that what you should do is that the abstraction that you propose, they should be able to be morphed into different workflow, and then after we pick one that we like for us. And
for me, I would like to do that to be able to support lots of workflow, but I think that we should also, as a community, to propose a workflow. And I'm not sure how that workflow will be yet. So, no, that's demo. So, I have here the Pharo image. I will show you a bit of the tools. It looks a bit weird because I have to get acomodarlo. How do you say? Well, okay, forget it. So here is the list of repositories I have in this image. The first one is the Iceberg repository itself, and the second one is my clone of libgit, and it shows me the branch I am currently on. The most important thing of this view is that I see pretty much what they already said to me. I'm trying to give you a whole view of the system. These are the packages that are saved in the Iceberg repository. You can see here all of them are up to date. I see the version. We could improve this view, but for me the most important stuff is that you can see the whole view of your image of your repositories. And one shift we have to make is to get away from the package view and go into a more project-oriented view. You have to think about projects and not about packages. So I can unload here a package. I could say here, well, I don't want to see this package anymore, unload it from the image. But by default, you shouldn't, or the image won't the tool won't allow you to load a different version from a package. You could, but it might bring incompatibility. So the most interesting thing to do is to load all the versions of all packages in the same commit. And here's a bit information about the repository itself. So afterwards, I open a view for one repository. Here I try to guide you through the process of commit, which is maybe different from what you are used to in other repositories. The most common path in Git would be that you first commit, afterwards you have to update, so bring new commits from other people. For me it was a change because in other repositories you try first to merge, to have an updated version before committing. But in Git, the best way to go, I think, is to first have a commit, a committed version that is safe, is sure, you won't lose it. maybe it's outdated, and then try to update that. So first I commit here, I will try to not break anything. I will try to make a change here. We can make a stupid change, like we change title here. So save that. If I refresh here, I see the change in the green. In the near future, we should have the possibility to cherry pick what I want to commit. Right now, I will commit everything. So it's already committed. And no, by default, I don't publish. We could do both things at the same time. If you do not have an incoming commits, you could publish at the same time. It would. I didn't do it, but it would be easy. So I don't know if I will be able to push right now because I have a fix here. I have here an incoming commit, which wasn't what I expected. Okay, so we will change the demo dynamically. So here you see the commits that are incoming. I expected to have none, but I have one. So I can load the code of that commit, which in Git is called detached view. So I can just switch to that version, or I can merge that version into mine. Let's see what happens if I do that. It's a bit slow right now. Okay, and now I will be able to publish. Hopefully. No, I'm not. I knew the demo would fail. And I don't know why. Sorry?
Don't worry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. The real stuff should. I had another image in which I was expecting you to show my merge. Give me 1 second. Which Anna. Yeah, I have fixed it here. So let's see what happens here. Well, okay. No, I don't want to fix it. I wanted to show something. Okay. Forget about it. I will show it later. So let's go here. So yeah.
Just a quick question. So what happens if someone does a commit?
Yes.
So if I want, so I modify my thing.
Yes.
I modify my image. Someone does a commit.
Yeah.
So I first to commit, then I see that there is a there is a new version.
Yeah.
Then I need to pull.
Yeah. No. Normally, when you work with Git, you should do first commit, then you pull. That pull could arise a conflict or not. That my demo should have shown that. And afterwards, you merge. But first, you have a committed version, because if you don't commit, you have changes that that you can lose them. So first you commit, so you have to save them. They won't be lost. And then you try to pull, fetch, merge. There are plenty of operations you can do.
Like the merge, I never have to leave the image.
No, you don't have to leave the image. You will. That's also the demo. Okay, you don't have to leave the image, because what I wanted to show, maybe if you have worked with it, you can picture it out. if you commit first, and you have an incoming commit that has a change in the same method you changed, or if he moved the class you changed, whatever, you have a conflict. And what the default merge tool does for Git on the command line, it will try to merge both files, and you will get a method with those Git greater than and which it's already not even Smalltalk. So after that, you try to merge from the command line, you have the method that is broken, you cannot load that method into your image, and the only possibility you will have is to look for that file in your file system and fix it manually, without the image, without anything, without any tool, just the V or whatever editor you like. And I don't like that way of working. So what I want is that you merge, you see, first you can see the incoming changes, you can see the tree of incoming changes. That can I show you, I think. Yeah. Here you can see that here is a fix, and you will see without any merge that you can see the changes I have done before merging them. And then I should merge, and if there is a conflict, it should raise a merge window, which I am using the same merge window that we already have. And then you merge, and then you do a new commit with the merge version. So everything is done into the image. So I don't have much time, but I am more or less ready. One last idea is what to do about large projects. I think that we are doing larger projects now than we do a few years ago. So we have to take care about integration, and if we want to have open source projects, we have to care about collaborators, eventual collaborators. It would be nice that everyone that sees that my tool has a bug can propose a fix and send it, and that should be easy for him to do that. It will be straightforward. I think that today is not straightforward. And it would be easy, it should be easy for the integrator to see the change quickly and say, okay, I like this, just merge it. And it should be automatic, at least for small changes, not conflicting changes. It should be automatic. So we have to build tools for all of this. Okay, we're kind of out of time. So a few about the future. Right now I'm working on stabilization. You see, that's necessary. Also, we need some improvement in the GUI, and libgit 2 is one main objective, because Git 5.3 requires me to have Git installed on my machine and to use OS subprocess, which is not very nice. Well, we have to work also a bit in performance, but I think that going through libgit 2 will be faster anyway. And afterwards, well, there are lots of ideas, and I also would like to hear your ideas. What can we do to improve this? And we're ready.
What about advanced Git workflows, git stash, git comment amend, git rebase, cherry pick a fix from master to a stable command?
Okay, one at a time. I think that I don't need the Git index, because the Git index is a stuff that users use the Git command line. So I expect to forget about the Git index. My Git libgit 2 version commits to the bare repository without using the index. So cherry picking, it would be nice to have that. Could you remember?
Git commit amend, like you make a commit
Yeah,
and you notice that
amend is easy. I didn't have the time to do that, but it should be easy. Two easy things that we should add is an amend and the commit and push all together. That should be easy to do.
And the most important rebase, like if you use GitHub or Garrett for code review, somebody asks.
I would like to have
modify-
rebase, but that's a bit more complicated because the rebase process is one that it's very complex to give tools to them. Okay, I'm out of time.
But I can ask after.
I couldn't compare performance of Git and repository. If you have full Pharo in Git, it means a million files for each method.
Okay, good question. I forgot about that.
Sorry, can you just repeat the question?
I think the question is, what about performance? Because when you, with the current format, I'm using Cypress format, which makes us compatible with everything that uses Monticello or Cypress or many of the current Git tools. And this format saves each method in one file. And Dennis is worried about performance. I have two answers for that. The first one is that if you do not have a working copy in your disk, then the amount of space required on disk using the blob directly instead of your working copy is like 1/10 or less, 5%. Because most of the amount is the problem is that you have very tiny files which through 2, 3, 4 lines of code, each one comes a file which takes 4 kilobytes of your disk. And you have 200,000 of them. So that, but we tried that and it is not so slow. But we can avoid that. And the second answer is that Iceberg is intended to support multiple backends with different file formats. So if you need, you will be able to commit the Pharo image, the Pharo code, which is huge, into another format which uses one file for each class. It has some backwards, some drawbacks, but it can be done, and then we can load that with the same tools that you use for the rest of the code. Yep.
Have you thought about using this for everything? So right now it's still a sources and a changes file, which is sort of another versioning system, so that each accept would actually commit something. Would that be an idea?
We thought about having each accept saving into this, not a commit. At some point we decided to go another way. I think that's the same question Alex made before. I think we could discuss it, but it's not the path we're going right now. So I don't want to take time. Thank you.